We're going to show you how an extension cord can save your back and help your backswing. Today's video, you're going to learn why unplugging in your backswing is so detrimental to your swing. Then we're going to show you what to do to stay plugged in for more power and consistency. Then of course, I'm going to show you how to train for it so you can ingrain it into your golf swing. Shaun, let's give our viewers here a look at what we see on the lesson tee quite often with regards to how the concept of turn kind of manifests itself in a backswing.
What we see a lot, and this is kind of the crux of this video, is a golfer could be in pretty good shape here, maybe halfway back, but a lot of times what we're seeing now, and we've been seeing it for a while, I think it's kind of the trend with teaching, is the golfer will get about 3/4 of the way back, and instead of continuing just turning a bit more and letting their arm swing, they make this big kind of back extension where they, like if they were going to chop wood, they would lift their arms up over the back this way, and they finish the backswing like that. It feels powerful, and it almost feels like they're adding turn, but all they're doing is like overextending their spine here, making a big arch, which is a steep position, and they end up usually coming over the top and hurting their back.
Go back to that face-on view and do that again.
Yeah.
So what you want to look for on video when you're recording your swing is you'll see the overall spine, his upper body, tilting towards the target, and you'll see this back line here either be vertical or tilting towards the target. That's what we want to avoid.
And if you look at it here, I've got a massive arch. I can almost put my whole hand through where this club here is in the small of my back, and we got to try to avoid that.
Okay, so let me have your club, and I'm going to give you this extension cord. And you came up with this analogy, I don't know, years ago when we first created AMG. And this is one of the best visuals I've ever seen relative to what we're talking about.
It's one of those things that gives people the right image in their head, because when you can have a picture in your mind, it goes a lot farther for you to kind of remember what you need to be doing and being able to apply it to your swing. Words are one thing, but pictures and feelings, you can apply.
We're on YouTube. We got to have some pictures.
Exactly. So the plug is something I came up with a long time ago, where I feel like the bottom plug is kind of where my belt buckle is, and then the top plug is kind of the rib cage area. So you have these two areas here that are together. Okay. I have a certain distance between my fists, basically.
Okay, so let's cover the movement we don't want to do.
So at address, I'm kind of plugged in here. I've got some core engagement because my pelvis is neutral, my lower back is flat. If I turn in that position, kind of keep my head where it is, maybe allow a little bit of lateral with my upper body or head a little bit, and just turn. But once I get here, as I run out of range of motion, if I extend my spine, you can see how I unplug. So it's this late kind of up and away spine extension, upper spine extension, that causes this to unplug. And to hit the ball from there, you're in kind of a steepish position. You have to usually reflex the spine, and that's going to make the hands and the club come out.
Okay, now let's look at what we want to do, and if you're paying attention, you know it's going to stay plugged in.
Yeah, so in my own swing, I have to watch for this, because as we get older, we're all getting there now.
Right.
You lose flexibility, so you have to watch out for where your body is compensating. So if I'm a little bit tight with my swing as far as the rotation is concerned, I'll end up making that move. So I have to practice kind of feeling like this stays plugged in, and it's like you can hear me strain a little bit because I'm having to use all these muscles in a different way and really wind up these muscles across the core here to do this correctly. Man, that feels like such a better spot to start to unwind that spring, basically.
It's so much easier to turn, right? Arch the back, kind of relax the stomach, and then just stand up with the upper body. You'll see the head move, you'll see the back tilt forward. That's easy to do. It's bad for your swing, bad for your back. What you're doing is it's part physical awareness, physical training, and then it's part swing training. Because like you said, the first time you do it, if you're not used to doing it, it's going to be quite different, especially in the ab region.
Well, the cool part about it is it sets up a chain reaction for the downswing. You're stretching these muscles and getting this stretch that's going to go back the other way, right? Kind of like elastic band that you're going to shoot in a way. And the other part of this that's important is if this is plugged in, you've got a better chance of making the pelvis motion through the hip, which is actually the pelvis coming up under, right? And tilting under this way. And if it's unplugged, as you're coming down, you have no chance to do that. We call it bird dog. I mean, we got a name for everything, don't we? It's like our vernacular AMG. The bird dog is when your head goes out in front of your belt buckle, and you finish like Mr. Havenkamp. So
You want to unplug on this side of
you
impact.
finally have got it here.
Yes.
You definitely don't want to feel like, you know, it's unplugged at the top and you're riding that all the way down.
So let's stay plugged in now
Okay, take a club.
with the heavy cord there.
Yeah.
With the club, so we can kind of give you some really clear visuals when you record your swing and what you want to look for.
All right, so at address, I'm going to start taking it up to the top. And what I would do at first is just kind of walk it up there. And you're going to make a shorter motion when you're working on this, especially if you've been guilty of extending the spine, because it's making the club go around the clock more in a fake kind of way.
Yeah, it's a fake turn.
It's a fake turn.
Yep.
So when I pose these backswings, I feel a lot of stretch across my stomach, core muscles, and I feel like the swing's a little shorter and tighter. And I feel like, you know, from there I can start to really put some energy into the downswing and unwind that.
Go back to the top again.
Yeah.
And you're right, when you're posing this, it's going to be a much tighter movement.
Yeah.
But you can see now he's got a little angle here to his back away from the target.
Yep.
Right? We don't want that angle forward, and we certainly don't want to see him come up and arch his back to get that late extension.
Yeah, so on the golf course, my tendency, because on the golf course we're trying to hit it a long ways, my tendency is to get here and add this little bit to it. And I know if I start hitting it crooked, that's one of my go-tos.
Right.
I know I'm guilty of that motion.
So film yourself walking yourself through these checkpoints, right? First, right off the bat, keep it plugged in the takeaway. Some of you may be unplugging in the takeaway.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that with the left shoulder going down and just unplug right away. Keep it plugged in first without the club, then use the club. Again, filming yourself doing this to where you can make the same body movements. Your bodies should work the same whether you got arms, club, or an extension cord. We want to see that body working properly. The arms will go where they go once you develop that core body movement, and you're going to have a plugged in backswing now for more power in the downswing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, real quick here to finish up, I mean, a good way to practice it, I used to do a lot of drills with arms crossed. Now I kind of put my arms like this and make a backswing without getting those arms to spread apart too much. Obviously in the finish, you know, you're going to get some, but you still have to have the plug coming up closer to the top one because my pelvis is tucked under.
Right, it's just reshaping the way you think about a turn, because there's a lot of ways to turn. There's a lot of ways to turn poorly. This will kind of keep everything connected and plugged in so you can make a much better, safer turn in your backswing.